And so it happened that when Shehrzad was trying to marry the king, her father, the Wazir, told her the story of the bull and the donkey to dissuade her from her decision. Both Shehrzad and her younger sister, Dunyazad, were listening intently when the Wazir began. Once upon a time, there was a wealthy merchant who lived in the countryside and worked on the land. He was a farmer by profession and owned many camels, cows, and goats. He also had a beautiful wife who was devoted to him and cooked him delicious food. The merchant had a peculiar gift. Allah had given him the ability to understand the tongues of animals. He could hear the lyrics of singing birds, the gossip of the minna, and the secrets of the owls. He could understand what his camels said about him and which bulls and donkeys complained about the barn in which they lived. However, there was one condition for this peculiar gift. The merchant was not allowed to tell anyone what he heard or he would die. And so he kept this secret well guarded. One day, as the merchant stood near the barn where one of his bulls and a donkey were tied, he overheard a conversation between them. The bull lamented, "Oh, donkey, you are so lucky. You have such a clean place to live, whereas my place is always full of dung and filth. You get good food to eat, while I am given dry sticks all the time. You do no work, while I am forced to labor in the fields, a plow around my neck, with a driver constantly prodding me forward. My life is misery, while yours is easy and full of happiness. You drink clean water, eat good food, and take our master into town, while I am always hungry. I stink all the time, while you remain clean and tidy. You are liked by everybody, but nobody loves me." After listening to the bull's wailings, the donkey replied, "Oh, bull, stop your wailing and whining. You are a fool. You have no wits, which is the cause of all your troubles. There is nobody to guide you, which is why you suffer so much. Every day at sunrise, you go out to the fields and work tirelessly. You do not return until sundown. When they tie you to your manger, you bellow, stomp your hooves, and when they give you food, you fall upon it greedily. The merchant and the driver do not respect you." "Now listen to me carefully," the donkey said. "Tomorrow when they take you to the fields and place the yoke around your neck, you must fall down. You must act as if you are ill and weak so that the driver believes you are unfit to plow the fields. Do this repeatedly, and when you are brought back to the barn, do not eat or drink anything. Keep up this act for a few days so that the merchant and his driver understand that you will no longer work for them." The bull, after hearing the donkey's words, thanked him and decided to follow his counsel. The next day, when the driver took the bull to the fields to plow, the bull fell down and refused to get up. He followed the donkey's advice to the letter. The driver, exhausted by the bull's behavior, brought him back to the barn. When the driver placed food before the bull, he did not eat it, just as the donkey had advised. The bull repeated the same behavior the next day and the day after that. Concerned that the bull might be ill, the driver informed the merchant of the situation. But the merchant, having overheard the conversation between the bull and the donkey, knew exactly what was happening. He decided to teach the donkey a lesson. He instructed the driver to take the donkey to the fields the next day to perform the bull's duties. And so the next morning, the driver took the donkey to the fields and made him work hard. He beat him, prodded him, gave him dry sticks to eat, and forced him to pull the plow with all his strength. By evening, when the donkey returned to the barn, he was exhausted. His legs ached, his stomach hurt from eating sticks, and he cursed himself for giving unsolicited advice to the bull, which had now landed him in the bull's place. The bull, for his part, was happy. He had rested all day, eaten good food, and enjoyed a day of peace without labor. When the bull saw the donkey returning, he thanked him once again for his wise counsel, unaware of what had happened. The donkey, realizing his mistake, decided to rectify the situation. That evening, as the merchant and his wife stood on the terrace overlooking the cow house, the donkey said to the bull, "Oh, bull, you must heed my words." "What is it?" asked the bull. The donkey replied, "Today I overheard the merchant tell the driver that if the bull refuses to work tomorrow, he will give him to the butcher to be slaughtered and distribute his meat among the poor." The bull, terrified, thanked the donkey for the warning and assured him that he would work the next day. The next morning, as the merchant and his wife approached the barn, the bull stomped his hooves, flared his nostrils, and let out a long fart. The merchant, seeing the bull's exaggerated display, burst into laughter. His wife asked, "Why are you laughing?" The merchant replied, "I heard the bull and the donkey talking, but I cannot tell you what they said." His wife insisted, "You must tell me, or I will leave you." The merchant said, "When Allah granted me the gift of understanding the tongues of birds and animals, I vowed never to disclose what I heard to any living soul. If I do, I will die on the spot." But his wife remained obstinate in her demand, and so the merchant summoned the Qazi and his relatives to write his final will before his death, as his wife seemed determined to end his life with her insistence. When everyone arrived and learned of the situation, they pleaded with the wife to abandon her demand, but she would not budge. Helpless, the merchant went out to perform ablution before his impending death. While performing ablution, he overheard a conversation between his dog and one of his roosters. The rooster, carefree, was jumping from one hen to another, crowing joyfully. The dog scolded him, "Shame on you! How can you be so merry on such a grim day?" The rooster replied, "What happened today?" The dog explained, "Our master, the merchant, is in grave danger. His wife demands to know the secret conversation between the bull and the donkey. If he reveals it, he will die instantly. That is why he is performing ablution." The rooster laughed and said, "Our master is foolish. He cannot even manage one wife, while I control 50 hens. I have my way with all of them, and none dares trouble me." The dog asked, "What should our master do?" The rooster replied, "He should fetch some mulberry sticks, hide them in his room, and give his wife such a beating that she never dares ask a foolish question again." The merchant, heeding the rooster's advice, returned, hid some mulberry sticks in his room, and called his wife inside. And so when she entered, he gave her such a beating that she never made another unreasonable demand. And so, after telling the story, the Wazir warned Shehrzad, "If you persist in marrying the king, I will give you a beating just like the merchant gave his wife." But Shehrzad remained resolute, and so she married the king.